Hey everyone, and welcome to my comics that have caught my eye video. I talk about comics all of the time, but I don't really talk about anything that is coming up or anything that I'm really excited to read that's already out, that kind of thing. So that's what this video is all about. So let's get going. What I'm going to do is start off with the non-Marvel stuff and then go into the Marvel stuff, simply because there's more Marvel stuff than there is other stuff, because I mainly read Marvel comics, but there are a couple of things outside of them that I also want to read. So the first thing I need to mention is Abe Sapien. Abe Sapien, if you don't know, is a character from the Hellboy universe, and I grew up on these films. I love the Guillermo del Toro and Ron Perlman movies. I was obsessed with them. At any opportunity I can take to watch Hellboy, I will take it, because I adore Hellboy so much. And Abe Sapien is one of the characters within this movie. He is essentially like a sort of fish man, I guess you could say. He's very much a humanoid talking fish, essentially, who's very clever. And I really loved his character in the films, but I've never actually seen him in the comics. I've read Hellboy comics before, but I've never focused on Abe. So I really want to give Abe a go and see exactly where that's going to take me. Next we have Black Hammer. I have owned this for years now and I still haven't read it yet, and this is essentially a series about superheroes who've been trapped in a town that's very much like the Twilight Zone, which just sounds really fun. But I'm not gonna lie, the thing that pulled me to this series originally was the fact that there is a spin-off to it called Sherlock Frankenstein, and I mean, I love BBC Sherlock, so anything that's called Sherlock intrigues me, and then Frankenstein makes my goth heart happy, so I was just very intrigued by that. But to read that, I need to read Black Hammer first, so Black Hammer is definitely high on my list. I really need to read soon. There is also a comic called Excellence, and this one is about a black magician who's following in his father's footsteps, but realises that he needs to be the change within a broken system, which just sounds really interesting. I've heard amazing things about this comic, so I really want to give it a go soon. The one that's really caught my eye recently though is Where Monsters Lie, and this one is all about what happens to slasher monsters when they are not being slasher monsters. So whenever like characters like Michael Myers, whenever they're not active during Halloween, what happens, like, well, I would say the Ghostface killers, but that doesn't really count because the Ghostface killers are different each time and it's just normal people. But like what happens like when Freddy Krueger isn't about doing things and killing people and all the rest of it, and it just sounds so interesting. I am in my slasher era at the moment, to say the least, and this just sounds like such an intriguing concept and like something that I can really get behind. And the only reason why I haven't read this yet is because it's not in a full bind up yet. It's only got the first 4 issues are out at the moment, and I personally just prefer reading things in like bind up format, because I'm very impatient and I don't like waiting in between issues. But for this one I may make an exception because it just sounds so good and I really want to read it soon. It just sounds so good. I really just want to see what this one's all about and what it looks like and what the storyline is and everything else. It just sounds amazing. I am desperate to read it. Then there is a book called Pinocchio the Vampire Hunter. I needed to know nothing else. I literally saw that title and added it to my wish list immediately because it's called Pinocchio the Vampire Hunter. I think it's about the actual Pinocchio hunting vampires. I need to know nothing else. My retelling loving heart and my goth heart just went, yes, give, now. But I haven't bought it yet, but I need to. I'm waiting for it to go on sale. It just sounds amazing. Just Pinocchio hunting vampires. I mean, what could be better? What could be a more bonkers but better idea than that? I'm so here for it. And then we go into the Marvel stuff. The first thing I have to mention is It's Jeff. This is a series of like one-shots, which are like very like short comics. And this is all about a walking land shark. He can walk on land, essentially. He's a shark that was genetically engineered, so he's got little feet and he walks on land, essentially, and it's about his adventures. It just sounds really cute. It just sounds really cute. This is based in the Marvel universe in the sense that he interacts with people like Gwenpool and things like this, and it just sounds so funny and like a really nice pick-me-up whenever I need it, and it just sounds really cute. I really want to read this soon. It just sounds so cute and so funny. There is also Black, White and Blood. This is actually a series of comics. Each one focuses on a different character. So there's ones about Elektra, there's another one about Wolverine, another one about like Moon Knight, people like this, and this is a series again of like one-shots all about these characters, and it's all drawn in black, white and red essentially, and it's a lot like darker stories looking at these characters. And I'm really looking at the moment for like darker Marvel stories because I love that idea, and so far they've covered several of my favourite characters because I absolutely adore Wolverine, and Elektra was one of my childhood heroes, and I really love Moon Knight, so this just sounds like so much fun. I haven't read them yet because I was waiting for them to go on Marvel Unlimited, and then I just got busy. Now I just desperately want to read them as soon as possible, though I may leave them for October because they are that kind of like dark, gory vibes that you usually want during Halloween, so I may wait till Halloween. I don't know. Either way, really want to read these soon. I just had to quickly run downstairs, so apologies if the camera angle has changed. Anyway, the next one I've got to mention is Maureen Goo's Silk. This one is all about Silk, essentially, and she is a character who was bit by the same radioactive spider as Peter Parker, so she's got very, very similar powers, this kind of thing, and it's just following her in the world of being a spider person, essentially. I was really, really intrigued by her character throughout reading Spider-Verse because she was quite a big part of it, and I just want to know exactly what she's all about, that kind of thing, and just get to know her a bit better. There is also New Warriors by Kevin Greverieux. This is a series essentially about the mutants who have been depowered when Wanda did her No More Mutants in House of M, and they are still out there fighting the good fight, trying to stop bad guys, all of this kind of thing. And I was interested in this for two reasons. One, it's all about M-Day and like House of M and mutants and all the rest of it, and I am just in love with that series essentially. That whole event is one of my favourite things of all time, so I love reading more about it and like more like tie-ins and all the rest of it. I'm just fascinated by all of it. And two, it was written by Kevin Greverieux, who is the co-creator and one of the actors within Underworld. He's specifically the werewolf with the very, very, very deep voice. That's him. And I only found out recently that he was a Marvel comic writer and just a writer in general. I just thought he was an actor, and then I found this out and my mind exploded essentially. So now I'm like, I need to read everything you've ever written, and I've been compiling it all essentially, and one day I'm just gonna blast through the lot of it. I'm so excited to do that because I mean, this guy wrote Underworld, and if he can write Underworld, I'm really excited to see what else he's going to do, because Underworld is one of my favourite movies of all time. I adore Underworld so much. It was such a formative like set of movies for me, so if the creator of that series has gone on and created that series, I'm really excited to see what he does in terms of comics and all the rest of it. And New Warriors is the one I'm most excited about because it's about House of M. It just sounds like a recipe for just brilliance in my mind. And then finally, I really should mention Peach Momoko's Demon Wars. This is basically the Marvel characters but mixed with Japanese traditional folklore essentially, and Peach Momoko is the writer of this, but she's also the artist, and as you can see, her artwork is absolutely stunning, and so all of this just looks like a feast for the eyes, but also like reading it and everything else, finding out more about Japanese folklore while also being within the Marvel universe and everything. It just sounds amazing. I've covered it several times on the Comic Book Sanctum, things like this, so I'm just really, really intrigued by it. I just haven't had a chance to read it yet, and I am desperate to. And that is all of the comics that have really caught my eye recently. There are probably a ton of others that I'm forgetting about, but I wanted to keep this list reasonably short, and I hope I've done that. I apologise right now for editing me because there's going to be a lot of picture posting in this and everything else, and my camera battery is running out, so I'm going to get on and wrap this video up. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me a comic you really need to read soon. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a book emoji down below to let me know that you're here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all of my social media fun to check out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics, which has got a bit on there about Kevin Greverieux, as well as like Peach Momoko and any other Marvel comic I've just mentioned. All of that will be linked down below, as well as the link as well down below to my Etsy store that sells bookish merch if you're interested in that, or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!